What up, IDS Mob? HarryWilmington here. And today I'm going to talk to you about holding frame when you're dating a woman. Because when people sign up for my mailing list or just sign up to get my freebie, one of the things I'll send back is a thing saying, hey, tell me something that you need help with. And so I had a guy recently that wrote back, and this is what he said. He said, my struggle is in keeping frame and staying indifferent. What I find that helps is your videos and daily affirmations. I'm proud of myself for not doing the most, but with this particular woman, shake my head 4 to a 5 at best, bro. I know I'm tripping. My ex-wife was at least a 7. Just keep doing what you're doing. So I want to talk about holding frame. Now, for those of you that have never heard that term before, in the context of dating, holding frame means maintaining a confident and consistent demeanor or mindset during interactions with a potential romantic partner. This includes things like staying true to your values, maintaining your self-respect, and not allowing another person's behavior or reactions to things to affect you in a negative way. It's also very important because it can help you stay in control of the situation and not give in to insecurities or emotions that might sabotage your chances of building a healthy and fulfilling relationship. Now, in terms of dealing with women, that basically means not becoming unglued when she suddenly starts doing behaviors that might not seem logical to you. So I talk a lot on this channel about women doing a pull-away test or doing a thing whereby maybe there's been too much interaction, so she starts to kind of decrease her presence a little bit just to, A, get a break from you, but also to see how you're going to respond to that. And a lot of guys, unfortunately, become very, very unglued by that. And women will test you out on these kind of things because they know that most men, when these men are approaching them or taking them on dates, that you're going to put your best foot forward. And it's very easy to be able to put on the front of being a confident guy who's not bothered by anything when nothing's actually going on. So what will happen is sometimes purposely, sometimes subconsciously, or sometimes in the midst of a situation, a test will present itself. And the test ultimately is not so much about, what she's doing and your response to it, but really how you're reacting and what your world happens to your world when something that is not pleasing to you arises, or something that's out of your control happens, or something that's unplanned suddenly happens. All right. And so when this happens, you have a very, very good chance of losing frame, meaning you have a chance of suddenly doing something that is out of character or responding in a way that's going to allow a woman to assess you and say, you know what, this now is not the guy for me because he clearly became unglued when things weren't going his way. Now, why does this actually happen? Well, if you go back to what I talked about earlier, where I said that holding frame means maintaining a confident and consistent demeanor or mindset during interactions, okay? And that includes staying true to your values, maintaining your self-respect, and not allowing the other person's behavior or reactions to affect you negatively. So how do you mess up this test? How do you end up losing frame? Well, let's go to staying true to your values. If you're in a conversation with a woman and then you say something and then she disagrees with that, or has a different idea about what you just said, are you quick to now change your mind? When you do that, you're no longer holding frame because now you're catering to the whims of whatever she deems more appropriate than what your thought or feeling was. Maintaining your self-respect. If she happens to disrespect you in some kind of way, are you able to say, hey, I don't appreciate this action, or hey, you flaked on this date and my time is very, very valuable. I don't appreciate that. Or are you going to be the guy that's like, well, that's okay, or I understand, or, that thing that you did to disrespect me, it's not really a big deal. And that's an example of when you're losing your friend because you're not holding her to a standard and saying to her, hey, I have these boundaries here. And when you break these boundaries, this is how I'm going to respond to that because I don't accept people that break my boundaries and disrespect me. If she has a reaction of some kind, or let's say she's going through a bad day, does her bad day or her reaction to something now affect how your day is and what your reaction is to something. If somebody, let's say you go to a movie and she gets scared and says, I hate these kind of movies, I don't want to see this kind of movie again, is your reaction going to be, oh yeah, let's not ever see that ever again anymore because that hurt your feelings and it really made you feel bad? Well, guess what? You're now losing frame because you're allowing how she reacted to something to affect the way that you're reacting. Now, the caveat obviously is if somebody's disrespecting her or mistreating her, then yeah, your reaction is going to be to step in and fix that. But I'm talking about her reaction specifically. Sometimes you might say something to a woman and she might take it as disrespectful when it's really not. This a lot of times, for example, you might, as the guy, say, hey, like I said earlier, this thing that you did was disrespectful. If her response is, that's not a thing, and you're just being misogynistic, and you need to understand blah, 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 well, her reacting that way doesn't mean that what you said to her was wrong. But if you suddenly cater to her whims and say, oh my God, I'm so sorry, this and that, guess what? You are no longer holding frame because you are now allowing somebody to come in and affect your reactions based on what they perceive as a negative thing that's not actually negative, okay? So all this to say that a lot of the reasons that we start to lose frame is because we're not actually as confident as we are trying to make ourselves appear. Like we're going on these dates and telling women, oh yeah, I'm so confident. And yeah, I'm a leadership guy and whatever. But then she's going to start throwing things at you. You're going to present a date idea and she's going to step all over it to see if you're going to actually stick with the idea that you had or so they change their mind. Or you're going to say something to her, she's going to have a bad reaction to it, but it's nothing that's overtly negative or mean in any type of way to see how you're going to react to it. Are you going to allow her to take the pants away from you and leave this relationship, in which case you're out? Are you going to cater to her whims and every single, reaction she has something that is negative because it doesn't agree with yours? If you do, you're out. And so women are going to test this early on because understand that a woman's safety is on the line. And she is looking to be able to trust in her man to be able to hold frame and be there when times get tough, when situations arise, when you guys have kids and they start trying to come in and run the show. All these things she has to test for to make sure that you're going to be the guy that you truly are making yourself appear to be. All right. So how do you stop this from happening? How are you able to continuously maintain and hold frame? Well, part of it is becoming more and more confident in who you are as a man. I found for myself that as I was achieving dreams and goals, I started to realize that I could really trust my own self to lead me to where I needed to be, which in turn allowed me to trust my judgments better. So when I was out there dating, I knew that the judgment calls that I was making, the date ideas that I was putting up, the suggestions I had for her on things she could do to better her life or whatever are things that could actually be trusted. And because I was overly confident, I was able to maintain frame because it was no longer me trying to front to hold it. It's like I had pure confidence in the things I was saying and the things I was doing and things I was presenting to the world. And so you need to get yourself to that point, because here's the other thing about holding frame, right? Is that we lose frame because subconsciously we still think we have less worth than the women that we're dating. And so when women start to test these things and you start to break, they'll start to realize that, oh, he doesn't actually have as much confidence in himself as he thought he did. And he doesn't think as highly of himself as I need him to think, because I need my man to be able to think high enough to where he knows that he's the bomb diggity. He knows, I'm just an old school frame of terms now. He knows that he can step into any situation and be able to handle that ish. And so if she's not getting that feeling from you, it's going to feel like a threat to her, and she's going to start to lose interest, mostly because it's parallel to, does she feel safe with you? Does she feel like you're going to get her to that plane where she can totally trust you and be confident in your leadership? And this goes back to being able to hold frame. So when you're on these dates, guys, you might be a guy that is like, you haven't been all that confident and you're starting to get your stride in dating, but there's still a part of you that's not completely sure that the women are going to believe that you actually have the confidence to carry this through. But you got to go out there and just know that ultimately women are looking for that from you, and that you as the guy need to confidently build that. If you need help with that, you can go to introvertdatingsuccess.com and sign up for coaching. You can also look at any of the 500 videos I currently have up on my channel that talk about things like building confidence, lessening anxiety, et cetera, et cetera. But either way, really start to work on your confidence, work on practicing your leadership skills. And as you start to do that, and as you start to go on more dates and start to talk to more women and have more experiences, you'll find that it'll be a lot easier to legitimately be confident and thus hold your frame a lot easier. So hopefully this helps you guys out. If you guys have something you want to see me talk about on one of these shows, you can write to me at HarryWilmington@gmail.com or leave a comment on any of my videos, and I'll be sure to answer your guys' questions, all right? Also, be sure to go to the website for more ebooks, audiobooks, programs, and albums, like my new album, Kevin Samuels Was Right. All those things are at the website. Just click on the products tab. You can get taken to that part where you can get that stuff today. Thanks for watching. I'm Harry Wilmington, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. I'm out. Peace.
You's a bad boy, but you can't stop, won't stop. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high class man. You a high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high